In a dimly lit lecture hall, a group of scientists gathered to discuss a phenomenon that has captivated humanity for centuries: ghost sightings. The audience, a mix of psychology students, paranormal enthusiasts, and curious skeptics, buzzed with anticipation. As the lead researcher, Dr. Emily Hart, stepped up to the podium, her enthusiasm was palpable. She adjusted her glasses and opened her laptop, revealing a presentation titled "The Science Behind Ghost Perception." "Thank you all for being here today," she began, her voice steady yet animated. "We're going to dive into the fascinating world of ghost sightings and explore why people perceive these spectral beings. While the concept of ghosts is often dismissed as mere superstition, the reality is much more complex, involving psychological, environmental, and cultural factors." Dr. Hart clicked to the first slide, which displayed a haunting image of an old, abandoned house shrouded in mist. Let's start with the psychological aspect. Our brains are wired to seek patterns and make sense of the world around us. This is known as pareidolia, the phenomenon where we perceive familiar patterns, such as faces, in random stimuli. This tendency can lead us to see ghosts in shadows, or hear whispers in the wind, especially in places that evoke a sense of eeriness. She paused, allowing the audience to absorb the information. A hand shot up from the back. "What about sleep paralysis? Isn't that a common explanation for ghost sightings?" "Well, see, excellent point," Dr. Hart replied. "Sleep paralysis is indeed a significant factor. During this state, individuals often experience a temporary inability to move or speak while falling asleep or waking up. Many report feeling a presence in the room, which can be terrifying. The brain, in a semi-dream state, can conjure vivid hallucinations, leading to the perception of ghosts. This phenomenon is culturally contextual. For instance, in some cultures, the presence is described as a malevolent spirit, while in others, it may be a benign ancestor. The audience murmured, clearly intrigued. Dr. Hart continued, "Let's not forget the role of environmental factors. Certain locations, particularly those with a history of tragedy or trauma, can create a charged atmosphere. Studies have shown that electromagnetic fields, low-frequency sounds, and even infrasound, sound waves below the frequency of human hearing, can induce feelings of unease or anxiety. These sensations can be misinterpreted as ghostly presences." She clicked to the next slide, which featured a graph illustrating the correlation between infrasound exposure and reported ghost sightings. In one experiment, participants were exposed to infrasound in a controlled environment. Many reported feelings of dread and the sensation of being watched, even though they were alone. The brain, overwhelmed by these stimuli, can easily jump to the conclusion that something supernatural is at play. A student raised her hand. "But what about cultural beliefs? Don't they shape how we interpret these experiences?" "Absolutely," Dr. Hart responded, her eyes lighting up. "Cultural narratives play a crucial role in shaping our perceptions of the supernatural. In societies where ghosts are an integral part of folklore, individuals are more likely to interpret ambiguous experiences as ghostly encounters. For example, in some Asian cultures, the concept of ancestral spirits is deeply ingrained, leading individuals to perceive signs or visitations from deceased loved ones as a natural occurrence." As Dr. Hart spoke, she shared anecdotes from various cultures, illustrating how ghost stories vary across the globe. In Mexico, the Day of the Dead celebrates the return of spirits, while in Japan, the concept of yurei, restless spirits, fills the folklore. Each narrative serves a purpose, whether it's to honor the dead, explain the unexplainable, or instill moral lessons. Now, let's talk about the role of social psychology, Dr. Hart continued. Group dynamics can significantly influence ghost sightings. When people gather in a supposedly haunted location, the collective belief in the supernatural can enhance individual experiences. This is known as social contagion. If one person reports seeing a ghost, others may become more susceptible to similar perceptions, often leading to a shared experience that reinforces the belief in the paranormal. She shared a study where participants visited a reputedly haunted site. Those who were informed about the location's ghostly reputation were far more likely to report unusual experiences compared to those who were unaware of the law. The audience nodded in understanding. Their curiosity piqued. Dr. Hart then shifted gears, introducing the concept of cognitive biases. Our memories are not as reliable as we think. The misinformation effect, where individuals' memories of an event can be altered by subsequent information, plays a significant role in ghost sightings. When people hear stories about a haunted place, their memories of their own experiences may become tainted, leading them to believe they witnessed something paranormal when, in fact, it was a trick of the mind. She recounted a fascinating case study of a group of friends who visited a supposedly haunted hotel. After hearing ghost stories from the staff, they began to recount their own experiences, embellishing details as they shared. By the end of the night, they were convinced they had encountered a ghostly figure, despite the absence of any tangible evidence. As the lecture progressed, Dr. Hart emphasized the importance of critical thinking. It's essential to approach ghost sightings with a healthy dose of skepticism. Many reported encounters can be explained through psychological phenomena, environmental influences, and cultural narratives. However, that doesn't diminish the significance of these experiences for those who believe in them. Ghost sightings often serve as a means of coping with loss, a way to connect with the past, or a source of comfort in times of grief. The audience was captivated, hanging onto every word. Dr. Hart concluded her presentation by addressing the emotional aspect of ghost sightings. For many, the belief in ghosts provides a sense of continuity, a way to maintain connections with loved ones who have passed away. This longing for connection can be powerful, influencing how individuals perceive their experiences. Ghosts often embody unresolved emotions, fears, and desires, making them a deeply personal phenomenon. She opened the floor for questions, and hands shot up. One student asked, "Do you think there's any scientific basis for the existence of ghosts?" Dr. Hart smiled, acknowledging the question. While science relies on empirical evidence, the experience of perceiving a ghost is very real for those who encounter them. The challenge lies in distinguishing between subjective experiences and objective reality. As scientists, we must remain open to exploring these phenomena without dismissing the emotional and psychological significance they hold for individuals. Another student inquired about the role of technology in ghost hunting. With all these gadgets, do you think they actually capture evidence of ghosts? System. Dr. Hart chuckled. While technology can enhance our understanding of environmental factors, it's essential to approach findings with skepticism. Many devices used in ghost hunting, such as EMF meters and spirit boxes, can yield ambiguous results. Without rigorous scientific methodology, it's challenging to draw definitive conclusions. However, the allure of technology in the paranormal realm is undeniable, and it often fuels the fascination surrounding ghost hunting. As the lecture came to a close, Dr. Hart encouraged the audience to explore the intersection of science and the supernatural. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, understanding the psychological, environmental, and cultural factors that contribute to these experiences can deepen our appreciation for the human experience. Ghost sightings may be rooted in science, but they also reflect our innate desire to connect with the unknown. As the audience filed out, conversations buzzed around the room. Some were eager to share their own ghostly encounters, while others debated the scientific explanations. Dr. Hart watched with a sense of fulfillment, knowing that she had sparked curiosity and critical thinking in her audience. In the weeks that followed, the lecture continued to resonate. Students began to explore the psychological underpinnings of their own beliefs, examining how their backgrounds influence their perceptions of the supernatural. The discourse extended beyond the classroom, igniting discussions in dorm rooms and coffee shops, where tales of ghostly encounters mingled with scientific inquiry. One evening, a group of students gathered at a local cafe, eager to dissect their experiences. They shared stories of eerie encounters, each narrative colored by personal beliefs and cultural backgrounds. As they spoke, it became clear that their perceptions were shaped not only by individual experiences, but also by the collective stories they had absorbed throughout their lives. One student, Sarah, recounted her visit to a historic battlefield. I felt this overwhelming sadness as I walked through the site. It was like the air was thick with the memories of loss. I didn't see anything, but I could sense the presence of those who had fought there. It was haunting, yet beautiful. Another student, Jake, chimed in. I went to a haunted house last Halloween. We were all scared, but I think it was more about the atmosphere than actual ghosts. The stories we heard made everything feel more intense. I remember hearing a creaking sound and immediately thinking it was a ghost. As they discussed their experiences, the line between the psychological and the supernatural blurred. They acknowledged the power of suggestion, the impact of cultural narratives, and the emotional weight of their encounters. The conversation flowed effortlessly, weaving together personal anecdotes and scientific insights, creating a rich tapestry of understanding. Eventually, the discussion turned toward the role of technology in ghost hunting. Sarah mentioned a documentary she had watched about a team of paranormal investigators using thermal imaging cameras and electromagnetic field detectors. They found some interesting stuff, but I couldn't help but wonder if they were just interpreting random data as evidence of ghosts. Jake nodded in agreement. It's like they were looking for validation of what they already believed. I think that's a big part of it. People want to believe in something beyond the mundane. Ghosts offer that connection to the unknown. The group continued to dissect the nuances of belief, skepticism, and the allure of the supernatural. They discussed how ghost stories often serve as a means of coping with loss, a way to remember those who have passed and to confront the mysteries of existence. The conversation was lively, filled with laughter, contemplation, and the occasional shiver at the thought of what lay beyond the veil of life. As the evening wore on, they made a pact to explore a reputedly haunted location together, armed with their newfound understanding of the psychological and environmental factors at play. They were determined to approach the experience with an open mind, ready to embrace whatever they encountered, whether it be a fleeting shadow or simply the echoes of their own imaginations. In the days leading up to their adventure, the group researched the location, digging into its history and the ghost stories associated with it. They learned about the tragic events that had unfolded there, the lives lost, and the legends that had emerged. Each piece of information added layers to their anticipation, heightening their curiosity and excitement. On the night of their expedition, they arrived at the site, a dilapidated mansion nestled in the woods. The air was thick with anticipation as they stepped inside, the floorboards creaking beneath their feet. Armed with flashlights and their collective knowledge, they began their exploration, eager to document their experiences. As they wandered through the dimly lit rooms, they shared stories and theories, each sound amplified in the stillness of the night. A gust of wind rattled the windows, causing them to jump. "Did you feel that?" Sarah exclaimed, her heart racing. "It's like the house is alive." Jake laughed, trying to ease the tension. "Or it's just a draft. Remember, we're not here to jump at every sound. Let's keep an open mind." As they moved deeper into the mansion, they set up their equipment, eager to capture any anomalies. Hours passed, filled with laughter, nervous energy, and the occasional chill that crept down their spines. They shared their thoughts, reflecting on the psychological factors that might be influencing their perceptions. Each creak of the house, each whisper of the wind, became a part of their collective narrative. In a particularly dark room, they gathered around a table, reviewing their notes and discussing their experiences. Suddenly, a loud bang echoed through the hall, causing them to freeze. "What was that?" Sarah whispered, her eyes wide. Jake's heart raced as he turned to the others. "Let's check it out. Remember, we're not here to be scared. We're here to explore." They moved cautiously toward the source of the noise, their flashlights flickering in the darkness. As they approached, they discovered a fallen picture frame, its glass shattered on the floor. "Must have been the wind," Jake said, trying to maintain composure, though the adrenaline surged through him. "But it's still a little creepy." The group gathered around the broken frame, contemplating the significance of the moment. "It's like the house is trying to communicate," Sarah mused, her voice barely above a whisper. "Or maybe it's just a coincidence." In that moment, they realized that their perceptions were shaped by the very stories they had absorbed. The mansion, with its history and legends, became a canvas for their imaginations, a place where the lines between reality and the supernatural blurred. They felt a sense of connection to the past, to the lives that had once inhabited the space, and to the stories that had been passed down through generations. As the night wore on, they continued to explore, each room revealing new mysteries and echoes of the past. They shared their thoughts and fears, discussing the psychological underpinnings of their experiences, the cultural narratives that shaped their beliefs, and the environmental factors that contributed to the eerie atmosphere. Eventually, they settled in a large, dusty room, where they decided to hold a séance, a playful nod to the ghostly tales they had heard. They formed a circle, holding hands and closing their eyes, inviting any spirits present to make their presence known. Laughter mingled with nervous energy as they chanted, their voices echoing in the stillness. In that moment, they felt an undeniable connection to the past, a sense of reverence for the lives that had come before them. Whether or not they believed in ghosts, they understood that the stories and experiences surrounding the phenomenon were deeply woven into the fabric of humanity. As dawn broke, casting a warm glow over the mansion, the group emerged from their adventure transformed. They had faced their fears, explored the unknown, and embraced the complexities of belief and perception. The experience had deepened their understanding of the human experience, revealing the intricate interplay between psychology, culture, and the allure of the supernatural. In the weeks that followed, they reflected on their journey, sharing their insights with classmates and friends. The discussions became richer, exploring not only the science behind ghost sightings, but also the emotional and cultural significance they held. They discovered that the fascination with ghosts was not merely about the supernatural. It was a reflection of humanity's desire to connect, to understand, and to confront the mysteries of existence. Dr. Hart's lecture had sparked a fire within them, igniting their curiosity and encouraging them to explore the intersection of science and the supernatural. They understood that while science could explain many aspects of ghost sightings, the emotional and psychological dimensions were equally important. Ghosts, whether real or imagined, served as a bridge between the living and the dead, a means of grappling with loss, memory, and the unknown. As they continued their studies, the group remained united by their shared experiences and the insights they had gained. They became advocates for critical thinking, encouraging others to explore the complexities of belief and perception while remaining open to the mysteries that lay beyond the veil of understanding. In the end, their journey was not just about ghosts. It was about the human experience, our fears, our hopes, and our relentless quest for connection in a world filled with uncertainty. The allure of the supernatural would always be a part of their lives, woven into the stories they told and the memories they cherished, a testament to the enduring fascination with the unknown.